This Thursday Night Football props edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code SGPN to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Hey, what's up, you degenerate gamblers? This is Bill Burr, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. What a Monday night. Batch of games.
Wow.
Duo of games.
One completely unsurprising, the other very surprising. I mean, RIP to everyone's circus survivor. It was a brutal stretch. I know Cincinnati Bengals, unfortunately selected by the vast majority of people. They got knocked out. Kramer,
61% of the remaining circus survivor. Like, so after we already lost all those entries from the weekend, 61% of the remaining people on the Bengals.
Crazy. It was a crazy night. I mean, shout out to you, Ryan. You were on how bad the Bengals defense was. I didn't want to believe it was this bad. And Jaden Daniels played for me much better than obviously we saw these first couple games. Like, that was an amazing, incredible performance. So hats off to Jaden Daniels.
The Commanders will definitely punt this week. Take also ice cold.
They didn't punt at all.
They didn't punt this week.
How did I get that wrong? How did the Commanders not punt? I was right about the Saints punting. They punted almost every possession. Crazy.
Wow.
I mean, and this is why the NFL, just friendly reminder, the NFL is the best league. It is the best product. You know, some football leagues, it's like half the spreads are 20+ points. Shout out to college. I love you guys. But This is why the NFL is king, baby. This is the end. I mean, come on. Joe Burrow 0-3, Jaden Daniels 2-1, balling out in prime time. Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars, Doug P on the hot seat. This is what we live for.
Yeah. I mean, I'm worried about the Daniel situation. Although I like to hear things like he prefers to dive over sliding.
I mean, he also it reminds me of RG3. Just like he takes so many shots.
Yeah.
I'm praying.
Looks good though. Looks good.
I mean, some of those throws were insane. So
bad defense, good offense.
Bad defense, but
ball,
he made some awesome throws. So certainly hats off to him. Bill steamrolled. I know I went 2-1 with my prop. Shout to Rhythm. The Chase Brown rushing yards hit in the first half. Trevor Lawrence rushing yards, those were cooked. Joe Burrow passing yards, those came in. So I don't know what happened to Trevor Lawrence running around. He should have been running around more. He's seeing ghosts back there in the pocket, Ryan.
A lot of quarterbacks seeing ghosts.
It's
the cascading, like bad everything.
It is hilarious. The top 10 quarterbacks right now. Shout out to the chat. Big W kicking us a nice $9.99 super chat, kicking it up. It's only fair. Appreciate that. That will go to the slot fund.
The slot. How's the slot?
Sure, we'll spin one personalized for you, Big W. Ryan, we're going to talk Thursday night props for your New York Giants against the Dallas Cowboys. We're going to be joined by Britton Hess from the Daily Dog podcast. But before we get to that, we got to hit on this story as our next installment of Real Men of Degens.
SGPN presents Real Men of Degens. Real Men of Degens. We salute you.
CJ Abrams. That's right. A baseball player for the Nats who was out at a casino until 8 a.m. He was, I mean, but that was for for a 1 o'clock game. The GM president said not on his watch, and to the minor leagues he went. He won't play again in the majors for the rest of the season.
It sounds like this isn't the first time this has happened.
No. The manager said it. I just want it to be known it wasn't a performance-based issue. It was an internal issue. I'm not going into specifics, but there was photos of him at the casino until 8 a.m. In his defense, I'm sure the table is a hot table. I mean, who's leaving a hot table?
Lawrence Taylor and Michael Jordan were so lucky to have come to sport before cell phone cameras.
Now, if Michael Jordan was out at a casino and there were cell phone photos of him, what Pat Riley, is Phil Jackson gonna not play Michael Jordan?
I mean, we've heard the stories we heard Jim McMahon tell a story about him playing golf with Jordan 36
on
holes,
this podcast,
drinking a bunch of beers and still dominating that.
And
night.
Jordan's a gambler because on the back nine, he wanted to press it for $1 million on the back nine. And McMahon's like, hey, I'm a Bears quarterback. We don't make that kind of money.
Yeah. I mean, look, this is, I get it. It's sensitive. Gambling's a sensitive topic right now, but my thought on this is, Sean, when you were young, and at least maybe my experience was different, but you didn't need much sleep. Like a 2-hour nap and some Gatorade.
Yeah,
you're good to go.
And we don't know if maybe he wasn't drinking. Maybe he's just hot.
Ocho Cinco famously ate shit before every game.
Yeah, what is DK Metcalf's diet? All he eats is fast food and Skittles. These guys are genetic freaks.
CC Sabathia ate a box of Captain Crunch every day, and when he lost weight at the end of his career, he just stopped eating Captain Crunch.
Shout out to this username in the chat, the Hastronaut, Ryan. That is an amazing username. How the fuck can you leave a hot table? Great question, Hastronaut.
Yeah. Remember the last time I went on a mission with the Hastronaut? I ended up having to sit at a picnic table in the middle of a nice rental house in Santa Barbara and just stare at the ground for about 30 minutes. I'm not exactly sure how long.
Clear your brain.
Things were really intense. I just had to grab a hold of the universe and stop the spinning.
All right. Hey, let's early look to Thursday night football, talk a little props, and joining us on the line from the Daily Dog podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, Mr. Britton Hess. Britton, what's happening, man?
I am good. What a fun night of football on a Monday with 2 games. We got to see Trevor Trubisky in action in Buffalo. He's out there, saying, just basically showing exactly how bad talent evaluation can be in this league. Also on the other quarterback, Jaden Daniels, already 3 games in, looking like he should have been the first overall pick. Reminds me of last year's draft where the top 2 picks were out of order as well. I mean, three games in, a lot to be determined, but I mean, do you think Jaden Daniels would look as bad in Chicago right now? I don't know about that. I think he might look a little better.
I will say, I mean, at least if you believe the rankings, the offensive line for the Commanders and the Bears were probably supposed to be somewhat comparable.
Yeah.
One offensive line looks tremendously bad. I mean, sacks are a little bit of a quarterback stack. We do know that. So I would say that the Jaden Daniels thing is what's the most scary is he does run quickly, but man, he also has pocket presence.
Well, he learned something very important. Throw the ball to Terry McLaurin. After week 1, he targeted him 4 times. Last week it was like 8 times for 6 receptions and just 22 yards. He attacked threw Terry McLaurin downfield, and look what happened today. I mean, it was awesome.
And Britt, the cornerback for the Bengals, was talking shit on Cliff Kingsbury's offense. Of course, they hit him over the top for a deep ball to set up a touchdown. I mean, this was just it was a coming out party for Jaden Daniels. As an Eagles fan, maybe a little nervous because he was looking composed in the pocket. I still think he takes way too many
Dexter Lawrence
shots.
is going to pop him when he falls down. His 300 something. Someone just needs to fall.
And I do think, Ryan, you were right. The Bengals defense was just
so bad.
Horrific.
They're gonna they looked good against the Chiefs because they have some sort of weird secret that against Andy Reid. Everyone else.
Now, Britton, we are going to get to the Thursday night props, but the last time you were on our airwaves, you, me, and Kramer were in a full lather about how this Pittsburgh Steelers team was just this is the perfect scenario for them. Their defense is, knock on wood, healthy.
Yep.
They got a great setup here. The schedule gets tougher later on, but this is kind of the way they want to play football. We've seen almost quote unquote an ugly style football take over the league. It feels like this is the perfect time for Pittsburgh Steelers football.
I know that for a while it was Harry for the Giants, and Ryan was talking about maybe just becoming a full-time Steelers fan. If you ever want to just at least adopt an AFC team, come on over. Because this brand of football by the Steelers is awesome. It's so funny that, everybody else in the division, again, only 3 weeks in, but everyone else in the division has underachieved. Steelers just stacking W's, just covering numbers, just doing their thing. And everyone's like, yeah, but it's all fake. It's all fake. It's like, well, I'd rather have a fake win than a real loss, like we've seen from basically everyone else in the AFC North. So again, it's amazing the way that they're winning. Tomlin, I think Belichick got on one of the morning shows 2 weeks ago. And he goes, yeah, everyone talks bad about Tomlin because he has the same game plan for every opponent for the last 15 years, but he's won more games than everyone else. So maybe stop making fun of it because it's effective.
Yeah, they have a 2-game lead in the AFC North through 3 games. Well, and the Ravens almost blew that. And the Browns were lucky to get their win.
And we're Will Levis away from Justin Fields being 3-0 and Caleb Williams being 0-3.
Yes. It's a crazy start to the season. And
we should ask Britton while he's here. The rumors of the man in the box was in the studio today, and he was deep in the internet rumor mill. Russ to the Miami Dolphins.
I could see that happening. Also, my first reaction was like, just send him Bryce Young, see what happens. Get 2 7th rounders for him and just cut your losses. But I think Tepper's too prideful to do that. But yeah, no, Russ, that would make sense. I mean, the only problem is that it's an AFC team. I think that, there's a lot of good vibes with the Steelers and Russ Wilson, which is amazing because the vibes have never been good for him at any of the other teams he's played for.
No.
It's always been like extremely weird and awkward, but it's a big love fest from the ownership, from Tomlin, from Justin Fields, and then going straight back from Russ Wilson. So I think that they like having him there, but if they can actually get some sort of valuable asset, I think that, they might take advantage of it. I do have in the back of my head though, that the Steelers would like to throw the ball a little bit more than they are right now. So they're just playing it safe and just going to see how much, how far Fields can take them. But the first time that he does, kind of turn into a pumpkin, if that is ever going to happen, then I think that they'll be like, all right, Russ, get out there and actually just manage an offense.
Yeah.
And it is weird, Sean, because we will be enemies with the Steelers for a 2-week stretch.
Yeah.
First you and then me.
Yeah. And we're going to have to fuck up Justin Fields. It's going to be,
wow.
It's going to be bittersweet there, Britton.
Sean, if you learned anything from the NFL slot machine watching me play as the Giants, literally half the highlights are the Giants sacking Justin Fields. So they have that sorted.
All right, we're going to get to our props for Thursday night. Of course, go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/betus. Sign up with our link and our promo code so they know we sent you. Get that sweet deposit bonus. Rollover restrictions apply on some of those. But again, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/betus. 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits. You get some gambler insurance. They got some same game parlays, live betting, in-game wagering. They got it all. It's an online sportsbook. Very easy to deposit, very easy to withdraw. Use that cryptocurrency. America's favorite sportsbook, 30+ years. They've been around forever. You know them. You trust them. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/betus. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/betus. Promo code SGPN. Kramer, first prop you got.
Have you been watching the Giants?
Yes.
Malik Neighbors anytime touchdown plus 135. He's reached the Mike Evans range.
No, I also have. It sounds boring, but I also have Malik Neighbors anytime touchdowns. He has.
Also, have you been watching the Dallas Cowboys pass defense?
Yeah, I mean,
it rates out pretty decently in some of the numbers somehow. But Jesus, they're getting
eye test.
Eye test. It just doesn't work.
There's a lot of guys open. This defense has really just been a disaster. Getting boat raced by the Saints at home. The Ravens had their way with them. Yeah, I think you have to put in Malik Neighbors anytime touchdown plus 135. He's had 5 red zone targets. 3 of those have gone for touchdowns. It doesn't matter if Daniel Jones is praying and spraying. It's almost like a dare. Like, hey, see how bad I can throw this football and you can still catch
Sean,
it.
who are you more worried about long term, Jaden Daniels or Malik Neighbors?
Well, I guess Jaden Daniels to really unleash his potential, you also and win games consistently, you have to have a quarterback. So the Giants are still that step away. Whereas Jaden Daniels, if he's actually the guy,
he's literally in the top 5 in every receiving stat with Daniel Jones right now.
Right, but I don't think they're a playoff team. Whereas if Jaden Daniels is the real deal, him at the quarterback position, you can drag up other guys. Like Malik Neighbors is doing everything he can right now, but I don't think a receiver can single-handedly drag a team to the playoffs.
He's only
where a quarterback can.
He's only played 3 games in the NFL.
I know. Kramer before the show, he was watching Brian Baldinger break it down. I don't want to overreact, and this is only 3 games, but Malik Neighbors may be the greatest Giants receiver of all time. I know Odell Beckham had some good games, but this is phenomenal. Look at this. Look at this catch. He's playing great.
Baldy was getting real rock hard over that, and Dexter Lawrence this week.
I really don't have any knock on him. Britton, what's a early prop you like here for Thursday Night Football?
Well, it's not very original, but before we get to that, I just want to shout out to the sponsor, BetUS, as somebody who has actually deposited and withdrawn on that website. It actually works. I would recommend every time as a guy who's been in the offshore streets for, I mean, almost 2 decades now.
Yes.
You want to make sure. So here's the real nightmare scenario. You're like, oh, this is a really sweet offshore. The website looks legit. Let me deposit, get a nice bonus, and then it's time to withdraw. And they're like, oh, we need your birth certificate. And it's like, why would you need my birth certificate? Sorry, you can't withdraw yet. And it's like, wait, what is this? I mean, you can say what you want about like the prop offerings in Vegas, but if you have that ticket, they're going to pay you out.
Yes.
Some of the offshores are not like that. I'm happy to report BetUS is worth it. And I'll also say you don't have to get enough cash out of there to buy a used car off the lot. You should, when you start up for a new offshore, you should try withdrawing just so you make sure that it's actually there, because you don't want to be in that scenario where you've got like 10K and they're like, oh, you got to fly down here to get it. You know what I mean?
That's a real potential outcome.
Money orders.
Go watch the movie Runner.
Yep.
But forget the money orders. There was a period where it was like they were trying to pass the money through like buying minutes on these phone cards.
Phone cards. But yeah, I mean, God bless crypto. And we're gonna put an article. If you're not familiar with crypto, it makes it super easy.
God's got nothing to do with crypto.
Highly recommend crypto. For a lot of reasons, but sportsbooks makes it super easy. So Britton, what do you got props wise? What do you like?
Well, I was going to say I like the anytime TD for Neighbors just because one, he's catching everything. 2, the target numbers are something that we haven't seen really in years for any wide receivers, especially a rookie. I mean, 12 targets last week, which was a light day after 18 targets the week before. So it's funny, before the season started on Underdog, I actually took lower than 940 receiving yards for Neighbors because 1, it was 40 yards higher than the sports books. And 2, I'm like, Daniel Jones can't get him the ball enough. Well, if you are going to target him 15 plus times a game on average, then you don't even need to be that accurate. If he's going to catch 5 or 6 of them, then he will get, a 950 yards, 1,000 yards on this season. So, I feel like I was kind of right in that, like, oh, Daniel Jones isn't going to be that efficient. But now the volume is so much higher than I could have imagined 3 weeks into the season. So that's looking like a bad one, but I'm all in on Neighbors now. Give me the touchdown plus 135. Give me first TD plus 950. I am very much on Neighbors here. I hope I'm not just like a broken record and we're all just going to be,
no, but sometimes you gotta hit it before they take it away from us.
Yeah, smash spot for Malik Neighbors, and as if it wasn't a smash stop enough, perfect time to mention our in rhythm prop of the day is Malik Neighbors anytime touchdown. If you go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm, sign up for the 7-day free trial. That is one of their props that they it was like top of the board already. So you like it, Ryan? I like it. And Britton, we're all on Malik Neighbors anytime touchdown, and even Rhythm likes it. Of course, go on there, build your own model. Help me on a nice 2-in-1 night, Thursday night or Monday night props, and use it a bunch for some Thursday night props. Ryan, my next prop also something that Rhythm liked. Definitely matched my eye test. The stats don't lie as well. Ezekiel Elliott under 25.5 rushing yards. This is more just a personal fun. What is that?
A cow.
Oh. I mean, that's right up there with our buddy's baby whale, Ryan. I mean, that clearly sounds like a dolphin.
Yeah.
Yes, Zeke. He's just cooked, man. Last 2 games, what is it?
Give me those numbers.
I got to double check this. This can't be right, Ryan. I'm looking. I made some notes. Now I'm double checking my notes live because it can't be that he had 9 carries for 22 yards combined in the last 2 games. That's got to be a typo, right?
Can't be right.
And even I mean, I guess both games they were kind of getting blown out, but still in the Saints game, he had 6 carries for 16. He just runs into the line. There's just not much left. And even his attempts are going down 10, 16, 3. I don't know if he's going to get it. I wouldn't even take his over attempts right now.
The Giants have had issues against the run, but yeah, I mean, they've fallen behind. If they keep falling behind in these games, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So give me the Zeke under 25.5 rushing yards. Kramer, what do you like?
So we're just gonna be pro Giants. Daniel Jones.
Well, it's more anti-Cowboys than pro Giants.
Daniel Jones runs the ball whenever they play the Cowboys.
Are you going over his rushing yards?
However you want to play it. I was actually going to give out an alt number.
Oh, okay. What do you got?
Oh, where'd it go? Here we go. Daniel Jones to get 50 rushing yards is plus 390.
Oh, all right. It's a nice dog price.
Now the offensive line is better this year, but this is also the game where I think you're gonna. They haven't really done any real designed runs for him other than a really stupid red zone play against the Commanders. Maybe it was against the Vikings. I think this will be the game they'll dust off some of those intentional. So they're going to attack the Cowboys with the running back in the passing game. I think they've had some success with that now. Tyrone Tracy's getting healthier, and it's something the Cowboys have been dreadful at. And I think off of that, you're going to see them work Daniel Jones like run action. So 50 yards. I mean, the ladder, if you want to go all the way up to 70 yards, it's 12-1. I'm recommending 50 yards plus 380.
Yeah, I just took his over at 28.5.
I don't even know. Okay, 28.5.
Cowboys are 4th in the league, most rush yards allowed to the quarterback. Again, there's only been 3 games, but I mean, you saw what Lamar Jackson did. There's not a ton of offensive options for the Giants, but
are you comparing Lamar and Daniel Jones right now?
Vanilla what did you call him? Vanilla Vic?
Yeah, Vanilla Vic.
Yeah, I don't know if he goes for the full ladder, but 28.5 feels very doable against this Cowboys defense, which is just in disarray, and it's amazing to watch. Britton, what's another prop you like?
So this one's on a Cowboy to hit an over. But it has more to do about fading the Cowboys and my game flow. So I got Rico Dowdle higher than 12.5 receiving yards in this game. He's gone over that in 4 of his last 5 games played with the Cowboys. Cowboys are going to be playing from behind in this game. So Dowdle's going to be out there catching some check downs and getting some garbage yards. So give me Dowdle. I mean, that's generally going to be like 3 catches for him and he'll be flying over that. In the last 2 games this year where they obviously have been down or have been behind, he's doubled this number up. So give me 12.5 receiving yards for Rico Dowdle. And again, they just need to get some more explosivity out on this in this backfield. Obviously, the guy mooing Ezekiel Elliott is not going to be giving them explosive passing plays. He's not going to break a swing pass for 15, 20 yards. Meanwhile, Dowdle does give them that option. They just need to be using him more. And again, I do believe that the Giants are going to have way more success in this game than the spread indicates. So their 3rd down receiving back should have a good game.
So his rush and receiving yards number is 54.5.
Well, I'm just going straight up receiving yards, 12.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying is I think there's a chance that he has a decent game against this Giants defense.
So, Dowdle in the receiving
or rushing. I haven't. Obviously, I'm not going to give out a positive Cowboys prop, but if I was going to try to diversify, because say Underdog doesn't let me build an entry with only 1 team.
Oh, okay.
That would be the player I would look to.
Ryan, I already shot my wad here with the 3 props. What's another one you like?
If you're watching the team, it's Malik Neighbors. And then it's Wandel Robinson, and it's no one else.
He's getting it. Wandale is getting a ton of looks.
His yardage prop is depressed because of the 1 bad game, but with the way the offensive line is playing and the way that, in general, I would imagine a defense might put some additional focus on Neighbors from time to time. you're going to see some an equal number of these plays schemed up for Wandel. And what you're noticing is he catches the ball very low ADOT, catches the ball around the line of scrimmage, but he's making the first guy miss almost every time. So 37.5 is his receiving numbers. He's an absolute dog with tiny arms. Well, when he came out in the draft, the thing was he had like the shortest arms ever for a receiver, first percentile arm length. I mean, that's talk about telling a guy he's got a small dick. So,
small dog energy.
But he's got that chip on his shoulder because of it. So 37.5 receiving yards for Wandel. Dog.
Dog. Host of the Daily Dog, Britton Hess, of course. Daily Dog. If you haven't subscribed already, what are you waiting for? Every Monday through Friday, Britton walks you through his favorite plays over on Underdog Fantasy, getting you ready for whatever slate is going on across the board. Britton, what's another prop you like here for Thursday night?
So I'll say there's only select books that have a lot of props available for these games already. It's usually the national ones. Out of the two big ones, one of them has this prop at plus 450. The other one has plus 950. So somebody is already sharp and hit it. We're going with the Giants D special teams to score a touchdown plus 950. Desperation mode for Dak and the Cowboys. Just trying to make stuff happen. Frustrating season so far. This Giants D isn't necessarily elite, but they look better against the Commanders than the Bengals did. So they have that going for them. There is a chance of fumble recovery, scoop score, weird kickoff return. I mean, Austin Eckler at age 56 almost ran back a kickoff in this game we saw on Monday night. So there's a lot of ways to get here. And again, Thursday night games, they're so weird. There's always so much weird stuff that happens when you're getting nearly 10-1 on a D special team score versus a team that's desperate. I love it. I can't pass that up, and get the plus 950 while you can, because it's already been hit at some books.
I'm gonna add that to my card.
Get your portfolio ready.
It's such I mean, so I would say this about the Giants defense. I didn't like the game plan against Daniels because they didn't attack enough. So what happens next week? They attack and they completely wreck a game. Dexter Lawrence looks unblockable. Burns and Thibodeau take advantage of weak tackles. So Dak has looked shaky. He's been sacked 3 times in each game. Pressure up the middle is the thing he hates the most. Dexter Lawrence could feast. I really like this angle. This is going to be parlayed with things too.
Kramer's got that look in his eye. Britton, you got him all fired up.
This is not good, actually.
All right, let's talk a little first touchdown. For me, I'll start it off. We mentioned him for the rushing yards. Daniel Jones at 18-1. I think this should be closer to like 12-1. He's had 8 red zone rushing attempts. I think him for first touchdown at 18-1 is.
They've run design shit for him in the red zone. It looked garbage, but it's still there. And I'm telling you, they're going to pull shit out against the Cowboys.
Well, and if it's not, and Britton gave out Neighbors. Yeah, Neighbors being around 10-1, probably maybe a better play. Maybe I'm getting
that will be gone by the time this game kicks off for sure.
Yeah.
That'll be 8-1 or lower for sure.
People are going to be hammering that, and with good reason. He's looked good. And then Tyrone Tracy, that is my other play here for the first touchdown market. My model has no Cowboys being projected for a touchdown. Tyrone Tracy 30-1. He's already gotten a couple carries inside the red zone. I don't think they're locked into Devin Singletary as
he's been fumbling. I don't think they are at all.
Yeah, I don't think they're looking to give him any inside the 5 carries. I think it's going to be either Tyrone Tracy or Daniel Jones on a sneak if it's not a receiving touchdown. So I think you're actually getting good prices on the 2 guys that I think would be responsible for a rushing touchdown for the Giants.
I agree with everything you said, other than Singletary will get carries. Like it split the pie up 3 ways in terms of rushing touchdown.
Okay, but then the pricing, at least I think
agreed.
Singletary doesn't make sense. Ryan, what do you got? First touchdown Thursday night football, Amazon Prime.
So as everyone knows,
people are dogging Al Michaels.
Why is that? Because he took the bag.
I don't know.
People get mad when you take the bag. They get upset.
I don't know. They were giving him a hard time. Love Al Michaels. He was, he's the guy who casually brings up the spread when no one else is. He was ahead of his time, right?
He's on the level of Musburger. I mean, he's just one of the guys. All right. As you know, I split my unit up 4 ways, Sean.
Yes.
No Cowboys bets though. So 4 Giants plays. Neighbors has to be on the card. I saw a stat. He has 58% of the Giants' air yards this year. No one else is even close. It's Daniel Jones, as you mentioned, at 18-1 fits the model. Anytime you have a quarterback that the team is fine with running with around the goal line, you got to put him in there if he's north of 10-1. Giants defense, special teams, as Britton mentions, this one's all over the place. So shop around. Some places are offering 25-1. Some places are offering 45-1.
Well, and we mentioned it. If you have access to the Circa book, it's pretty interesting what they do. They don't offer a defensive special teams touchdown per se, but they do offer the field. So any defensive player that scores would count for the field. And obviously, if it's a special, unless it's like a punt return for a touchdown for a guy that was already listed, but you're getting both defenses. Whereas normally, like, whatever the main big books there, the Coke and Pepsi books, you got, you have to guess which defense did it. Whereas now you don't want to do it in this case because a Cowboys defense isn't going to score a touchdown, but if you can play the field, and again, check the house rules because everyone does it differently. I confirmed it with Jeff Benson at the Circa that if a defensive player scored, it would count for the field, and the field price is pretty damn good. So something to keep an eye on if you're out. And Circa has a bunch of states now. So
I would also point out that I don't want the special teams. I don't need the special teams. So if you can find an out that has no special teams included and just has the defense, that's all we're playing here. Like look in the mirror and be honest with yourself. Yeah. That's all we're playing here anyway. So 45-1, very juicy going against Rain Dakota Prescott. And the last one, when the Giants signed Carmen Brasillo, the offensive line coach, Sean, I told you it was exciting. Why? Because they're going to use a fullback again.
Oh,
Jakob Johnson has only gotten 5 snaps on the season, 2 snaps in game 1, 3 snaps in game 2. I do think they're going to bring out some different stuff to play against the Cowboys with. Jakob Johnson is 100-1 on the first touchdown.
All right, I'm adding Jakob. I gotta add Jakob Johnson.
And he came over. He was on the Raiders, and he came over with Carmen Brasillo, the offensive line.
How do you spell that?
Jakob Johnson.
Okay,
Jakob.
This sounds like a name that CJ would try and pronounce.
This is the season changer right here. Jakob Johnson on Thursday night.
I love 100-1 on a fullback. Britton, what do you got for Thursday Night Football first touchdown? What's jumping out at you?
All right. Well, I said Neighbors plus 950 again, and they get when more places open this up, especially like Circa, it will be 10-1 or better. At least at that place.
We can get a 10-1 right now. FanDuel is offering a 10-1.
So okay, nice.
Make sure you get that.
Yeah, because that will again, that's one to go down. On another show I do, basically before every prime time, I'm like, if you're going to be playing, Jamar Chase touchdown, don't lie to yourself. Play it first thing in the morning. If you're listening to this podcast right now, just don't wait. If you're going to be like, oh man, I don't have any action on this game, I need to bet something, and then you're going to take like Jamar Chase minus 140 when you could have had plus 130 in the morning. So the same rule for Neighbors now. Neighbors is now in that tier of just a guy that's going to get so much volume for the Giants that you just have to play everything early with him. But that said, I do have another Cowboys guy that's a long shot on here. It is a fullback, and it is Connor Lupke, who's got two receptions last week for 41 yards. Explosive fullback play. That they still are kind of stubborn with the Ezekiel Elliott crap that they try to pull, like they're trying to act like it's 2016 and he's got line him up in the I form and he's going to get in there. What do you know about the spider Y2 banana? You can run that with Lupke, an explosive fullback like him, and get in the end zone. 37-1 spider Y2 banana. Take an easy throw for Dak. So because he's already going to be throwing picks and fumbling and everything else in this game versus the Giants. So they just need to make it simple. Throw it to him. Then on the other side, another one that's even longer than 37-1 on Lupke. Daniel Bellinger, 8th string tight end from the Giants. I'm joking. He's not really the 8th string, but he might as well be. He gets about 1 target a game, but it's in selective spots. And again, he's a big target, and it just depends on how this game flow goes. Are they going to try to be like, are the Cowboys going to put, if they're on the 5-yard line, Singletary, not much of a short yardage threat and use a fumbling threat. You know that, right? Are they going to have, like 3 guys bracketing on Neighbors? If they are, there's a tight end that's wide open, and it's probably going to be one of the backup tight ends. So give me Bellinger. 75-1, by the way.
Yeah. So he actually he was the 5th guy on the list. He was the last cut.
Okay.
And the narrative reason why you'd select him is he got called for a tremendously bad holding call last week, where he was pancaking the fuck out of someone. And
Dable rewarding him.
I mean, you want to talk about the kind of guy you reward. He was pancaking the block. So, I like the play 75-1. And also, while Theo Johnson has been running tons of routes, the times that Bellinger have been running the routes have been critical moments in the game. So, first touchdown's always a fun one.
All right. Of course, if you guys haven't already signed up for Underdog Fantasy, what are you waiting for? Go to Underdog Fantasy, hit that promo code SGPN. Get you covered, get you ready to go. I mean, the pick'em is so fun. I'm hooked on it. We just did a pick'em for our company happy hour. Fortunately, that didn't come through. Maybe got a little crazy, but I'm just logging into Underdog Fantasy. I already signed up a long time ago using the promo code SGPN. 50% profit boost and $25 max. Like I don't know if they're just like adding like upping the maybe I'm giving them a lot of volume and they're upping it. But
I can give you an answer on this if you really want to know. So there was an error on Sunday morning with deposits. So they went above and beyond and just jacked up everybody's promos like way further than was even necessary to apologize for like a slight delay for a select number of users on Sunday morning. They're just like, oh my God, everybody gets crazy value. And, I'm in the daily underdog streets every day and people are like, oh, the odds aren't as good as sports books, blah, blah, blah. The plus EV stuff Underdog offers you is stuff you can't even sniff on the sports books. So it definitely, if you're a prop player, you've got to be on Underdog and signing up with promo code SGPN or Daily Dog.
There you go.
Like
great assist on the read. He's in the Daily Dog streets. Again, sign up. If you're looking for a little sweat, it's a quick 10-minute show. Get you in, get you some plays, and sign up. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SGPN. Kramer, maybe we do a little Underdog entry, and then if you have any sort of DGen parlay stuff.
You're going to have to drive on Underdog. I don't want to screw up the show.
Okay.
The computer's struggling a little bit.
Oh, the computers. Well, it seems like if we're putting together an Underdog entry, we have to have Malik Neighbors higher rushing and receiving touchdown, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I'll toss that in there to get started. Britton, what is something? Now we already gave out some props. Underdog could be a little different. And again, one of my favorite things on Underdog is the amount that they have and how early they have it. And again, to your point earlier, like the Malik Neighbors right now on Underdog, while we're taping this, 1.31x on the touchdown. That's not going to be, once we get closer to kickoff, this thing's going to drop because people are going to be hammering them. What's another play you like for Thursday Night Football to toss in here, Britton?
Let me double check because so on my show for Tuesday, so the episode that's going to be coming out, I do a slip that is Thursday Night Football early just to get ahead of it, and we just get massive CLV. We haven't quite hit one of these in this short NFL season yet, but the CLV is there. So I'm staying with it. And also just to follow up on the promos, so they had a max 20% profit boost as part of the retribution for that minor inconvenience for some people. I had a 4-leg slip, 50 to win 1,200. One leg didn't come home. It was this pick that I had inside info on. Gabe Davis touchdown.
No.
Yeah, everything else was there. So it is tough. But I mean, the Neighbors, I'm going to start off with Neighbors. Is it lame if I just say start right there?
Yeah, no.
You got to do Neighbors. You got to do
Dak interception.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's I remember why we like this guy so much, Ryan.
Yeah, he understands.
Dak higher INT. We got Dak higher INT. Neighbors higher rushing and receiving touchdown. Off to a pretty good start.
Definitely adding my gimme pick in this one.
I think now feel free to co-sign this or not, Britton. What do you think about the Daniel Jones rushing yards sitting at 28.5? I mentioned it earlier. That feels like a decent play. We could also fade Zeke. Yeah, I don't know. What's another one jumping out at you?
I mean, I like that rushing yards with Daniel Jones. I don't know. Have you watched any UNLV college football this year?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
The
their
Rebs, baby.
their quarterback Sluka runs like a knuckleball. He's not really fast, but like it's just awkward and wobbly, and people can't really tackle him. Like Daniel Jones is the evolved form of that. So yeah, he isn't running a 4.4 out there, but he's weird. He kind of makes people miss in weird ways. Give me that 28.5, especially if this Cowboys defense are very aggressive, right? So that means they're going to be trying to make the big hit. If they miss, there's no one else behind them. He can get 28.5 yards on one run. And that's a guy that doesn't run all that fast. So yeah, I'm definitely in with you on the rushing yards on this slip. And I'm literally adding it with you guys as we talk through this.
So this feels like a great one. I applied my 50% profit boost. Malik Neighbors higher 1.31x. Dak Prescott higher a half interception. We got that at 0.92x. And then Daniel Jones higher 28.5 rushing yards. You put in the 50% profit boost. I'm maxing out the promo there at $25. 3 correct. Bringing home 258 bucks 50 cents. Let's go. That's feeling pretty fun. Kramer, do you have
Hold on, I'm adding a gimme pick to the. What does this do?
Kramer's doing some modifications.
I'm agreeing to something. Can I also add the 50? Oh my god, I can add the gimme pick and the 50% pro. Oh my god! This is like playing shoots and. Oh no, I can't do both. Damn it! Right.
Yeah, you got to choose one. But again, it's
store,
worth it. And also, you could just do the same slip twice, and
that's true.
Each one of those separately.
That's the other thing. Like if they max you out at 25 and you wanted to bet 100, well, you could just bet 25, get the profit boost on the $25 version, and then do a $75.
I'll save the gimme pick for a crazier one.
Kramer, what do you like for a DGen parlay? I'll be honest, I'm debating these two guys for 2 touchdowns. Either Daniel Jones 2 touchdowns at 37-1 or Wandel Robinson at 2 touchdowns 44-1.
Yeah, Wandel's the one.
Wandel. Okay, I'll go Wandel.
I have Neighbors, Giants defense, and Wandel Robinson 60+ receiving yards. Neighbors touchdown.
Okay.
Giants defense touchdown.
Okay.
Wandel Robinson 60 yards. 120-1.
What?
Yeah. Oh my god! It feels like the price.
Just 3 things that happen.
Just 3 things. And Wandel had 61 yards last week. BTW.
Yeah, no. The Wandel Robinson. Yeah, I'm going with 2 touchdowns. Or what do you think Wandel is 100 yards? Maybe that's a simpler way.
16-1. I already looked it up.
So maybe I do.
There's a reason I went back to 60.
He doesn't hit 100 very often.
He just doesn't. He's never going to catch a ball down the field.
Okay. Well, then I'll stick to my Wandale Robinson 2 touchdowns.
But I think 7 catches for like 72 yards is about right.
All right. I'll take the 2 touchdown dart throw there. Britton, do you have any parlays, any parlay ideas, any long shot stuff? I know you're also on the Giants touchdown there.
Yeah, so this one's only 29-1, so
it's okay.
Don't shame me. Don't shame me.
Ashamed of.
All right, we got the Neighbors anytime TD. We've got Neighbors 8+ receptions. We got Giants money line, and we got Rico Dowdle 25+ receiving yards as they're trying to play catch up in this one. I see the game script right here, right now. All we need is the G-men to execute it.
Yeah.
I mean, I see the formula.
I will say I was toying around with some of the correlated stuff, and it didn't give me enough extra juice to add all these extra things. What the key is the Giants anytime defensive touchdown.
That's where it starts.
I'm gonna craft some more. You ever seen that video? The guy, like people making a bunch of clay bowls out of a big. I feel like I'm gonna take some clay that starts with the Giants defense touchdown and then Malik Neighbors anytime touchdown. It's gonna be tied to a lot of stuff. So pray for me.
All right, Ryan.
To your gambling guy.
Best of luck. We're gonna be back tomorrow night talking college football after a great week of college football.
We have a lot to discuss with Colby.
Really?
The heat's starting to get to him. I think
the heat is in the hat.
A lot of people.
I was fanning those flames. I'm fanning those flames.
Britton saying Colby should take over the show because of his tally site record.
He's gonna bring that up on the show.
I'm sure
He loves his tally site record.
He's got his sources.
He's got CLV from May.
Yeah,
Tally site CLV is worth nothing, but Colby loves it.
Again, free college football picks on the app, on the website, and of course. The college football experience and our podcast too. College football picks tomorrow night, NFL picks Wednesday. Jam-packed week as always. Make sure you subscribe to the Daily Dog. Check out Britton Hess on X at Britton Hess, and again, subscribe to the Daily Dog. New episodes dropping Monday through Friday.
Nice work, Sean.
Oh, thank you, Kramer.
Can I just say one more thing?
Sure.
Because we didn't really discuss it, but remember how we predicted this situation where the Cowboys could be in an incredibly tight situation on the road Thursday night against the Giants team with a little bit of confidence.
Look out.
Okay.
And shout out to Making Bacon, our favorite New Zealand butcher, saying love the show. Love you, Making Bacon. Appreciate everyone subscribing, telling a friend about SGPN, and hit up the merch store. Got a bunch of good stuff in over there.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
I'm dressing for a funeral on Thursday.
Kramer, let it ride.